Hello, and thank you everyone for taking some time to learn a little bit more about NH Hotel Group, part of Minor Hotels. My name is Francesca Dapiran. I am actually the Travel Industry Sales Manager for NH Hotels based in the New York area. And I am going to go over who the company is today, as well as talk to you a little about where we're going. And also we're going to highlight a little information about our first North American hotel in the New York market, which my Director of Sales, Aitan, will explain later on. So first, who is NH Hotels part of Minor? So you keep hearing me say part of Minor Hotels, and that really is because in October of 2018, Minor Hotels, headquartered in Bangkok, acquired the Spanish-based NH Hotels. So this is now bringing our portfolio to one big happy family. We have a total of 8 brands, ranging from your luxury of your Anantara down to your mid-scale of your NH Hotels. There's about 500 plus hotels in something like 50-something countries. So there's quite a few properties, and there really is a little bit for everyone, depending upon what you're looking for, such as leisure versus corporate. And I'll go over that as I go more in depth for each of the brands. So before I do that, though, I do, of course, want to address the elephant in the room here. So NH Hotels, part of Minor, is very aware of the situation with COVID, and we have taken some steps right away to ensure that all your guests that you send to us are going to be taken care of. So Anantara, which is a luxury brand we do have, implements what's called the Stay with Peace of Mind program. So basically, this is just an outline of policies and procedures that we have in place on each of our hotel level to ensure the guest safety, from enhanced hygiene measures to the cleaning of air circulation, as well, of course, just the sanitation levels, right? This program is going to be rolled out to all of the brands that we do have. And then on the NH side, similar to the Anantara, we have partnered with a company by the name of SGS, basically developing a protocol of measures and assessments to make sure that the maximum health and safety guarantees are in place. This is already in place, and it's something that we are starting as soon as possible. Great, so now going to what is coming next. So Anantara, which is our luxury brand, we do have 4 new openings that opened in the past 2019. You can see here, these are going to be mostly resort locations between Malaysia, Mauritius, Tunisia, as well as Spain. Then going into the upper upscale brands, we have on the left here NH Collection. We had 4 new openings in 2019 between Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and Belgium. And then going to our Now Hotels, which is our more upper upscale lifestyle designed brand, we have a property that opened in London in the Shoreditch area, as well as another property in the Netherlands in Amsterdam. And what's coming through the pipeline? Under the luxury brand Anantara, we're opening a property in Bali. That's going to be TBD. And then we also took over what was formerly the Marker in Dublin. So the Marker is going to be the first urban Anantara in the portfolio. This property is really great for corporate. It's in the Dockyards area, great for entertainment accounts, as well as some leisure, depending upon what the client's looking for. Under the NH Collection brand, you can see, of course, that property I mentioned previously, the one in North America, New York, the NH Collection New York Madison, which you will hear a little bit more about later. But then also we have a property that's opening in Verona, Italy, later this year as well. And then finally, under that upper upscale lifestyle brand, Now Hotels, properties opening between Hamburg as well as Brussels. So you can certainly stay tuned for all of that. And then more just as an FYI, I want to shout out these recent acquisitions that took place at the end of 2019. So you might recognize a lot of these properties as former Boscolo Hotel Collection hotels. We acquired 8 of them. Like I said, at the end of 2019, they're going to be rebranded as either Anantara or NH Collection, depending. So of course, certain levels of renovations and service levels need to be addressed. But once all that is done, we will just have increased our footprint in Europe that much more with our luxury and upper upscale brands. Great. So now let's go into the brands themselves. We'll start first with Anantara Hotels, Resorts, and Spas. This is the highest service level brand we do have. So really it's our most luxurious brand within the portfolio. Anantara is the flagship brand under Minor. So a lot of the properties are going to be in that Southeast Asian market, but we also have hotels in the Indian Ocean, parts of Africa, and of course you saw that expansion into Europe that I was talking about previously. Anantara is really mostly a leisure brand that we do have. A lot of them are going to be resorts, such as you see here, our property in the Maldives. What makes them so unique is we like to take a little bit of the local flavor, make it a very indigenous charm, as we like to say, and incorporate that. Of course, we also always make sure to incorporate that health and wellness aspect. So all of our Anantaras do have a fantastic spa, and we like to keep that 5-star service level. Now we go to Tivoli Hotels and Resorts. This is another of our luxury brands. Tivoli is a Portuguese brand that was founded back in the 1930s. So it is quite old as far as hospitality brands go. Today, most of the properties fall between Portugal and Brazil, but we do have several that are across the Middle East, and we're opening one in China, TBD. Tivoli, they are very classic luxury. As you can see from this picture right here, this is the hotel that we do have in the Tivoli Avenida Liberdade, Lisboa. So it's on Liberdade Avenue, which is the main drag in the city of Lisbon. So again, really doing that classic, timeless luxury and incorporating that through all of their hotels. You can see here we do have several properties in what is known as the Algarve. These hotels, the Algarve, if you're not familiar with it, is sort of the south of Portugal, where you have a lot of beach destinations, also a lot of golf resorts, as you can see from this picture right here. I would say the Tivoli properties, the city center ones, such as the Liberdade, are going to be more business-centric or leisure, really. So it's a nice mix of both. We do a lot of M&E as well in these hotels. Now we go to Alawana Collection, which is very much a brand of its own. These are luxury tented safaris and camps between Kenya and Tanzania. So there's 16 of them, and they're very small. So they're each going to have anywhere between like 10 to 20 different of these camps in each of the spots. And what the idea is, you go from 3 to 4 properties in a given safari on either the northern circuit or the southern circuit. And we have something called Sky Safari, which is where we have your own plane chartered, and it takes you from destination to destination as you go on your various game drives and you follow the Great Migration. So it's very much a bespoke itinerary for your client. Obviously, this is pretty much pure leisure, but it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's really incredible. And now going to Avani Hotels and Resorts. So you're probably not as familiar with this brand. Avani is sort of the little sister to the Anantara Hotels, Resorts, and Spas. We often have an Avani and an Anantara in the same destination, so we can offer different price points. Avani is more contemporary in design, and they're also more corporate focused. We call this our work and play brand. It's very useful, it's very modern, it's very contemporary, as I said, and a lot of these are going to be city center. We do have a Avani Plus brand, which is more resort centric, as you can kind of see from this picture here, but a lot of these again are going to be a nice mix of that business and leisure business. And now NH Collection, right? So you guys probably know this brand more than some of the other guys. NH Collection, again, is more in that upper upscale segment, but more on the classic side as opposed to the lifestyle. NH Collection, we are 75 hotels between Europe and Latin America, so a pretty hearty chunk of the portfolio that we do have. The design of NH Collection is modern and contemporary as well. So sort of this is the European counterpart to the Avani that I was just going over. These are going to be recently renovated. The NH Collection brand is fairly new at around 4 to 5 years old. So basically we took the best located NH hotels and then elevated them to create the NH Collection brand, and that's really what you're seeing here. So they're all going to be city center in whatever respective market they're going to be in. A lot of times the building will have some historical significance, or it might be a brand new city build. So one or the other, they're fantastic for corporate who wants a little bit more of an elevated experience, or just leisure if you're hopping around Europe and you want a consistent brand with a great location and great service levels. And now we go to our fun brand, as you want to call it. It's called Now Hotels, Elevate Your Stay. This is also considered upper upscale, but more on the lifestyle design. So right from this picture, you should tell that this brand is loud. It is colorful, it is fun, it is chic, it is playful. This is not an up-to-date map. We do have 2 properties we opened in the beginning of 2020. One in Amsterdam by the Rai Center. The Rai Center is the largest conference center in Amsterdam. And they also opened that one in Shoreditch, London, which I believe I told you previously. So that puts us at a total of 6 hotels, really across Europe. So the Now hotels are a very distinct, unique brand. Each of the hotels pull from their respective market that they're in. They always play with color. They all have a theme, and that is really translated into all of the hotels. For example, you can see right here, we have our property in Milan. Milan is the fashion capital of the world, and you can kind of see that in the design. On the left side here, in the third picture down, you have our property in Rotterdam. You can see it's very clean lines, and that's because it overlooks the Erasmus Bridge. If you've ever seen a picture of that, that design is all throughout the hotel. And this is really translated again into the new hotels that we're opening under the Now hotels. Although it's a very loud brand, we actually do find a lot of corporate business into these hotels, and that's really because we have fantastic M&E space at all of the hotels. Now we go to our mid-scale brand. So the first of which I'm going to highlight is the Oaks Hotels and Resorts. So Oaks is primarily an Australian brand. So most of the properties are going to be between Australia and New Zealand. And what makes them unique is they're going to be long-term stays. So you're looking at apartment style between 2 to 3 bedrooms. You're going to have a living room. You're going to have a kitchenette. Great for families, but also great for someone who's looking to stay a little bit. And let's be honest, if you're coming from the US market to Australia, you are going to probably stay a few days. The good thing about these, within those Australian and New Zealand markets, you're going to have your primary and your secondary cities covered. So it's a good amount of product in maybe not so frequented locations. And last but certainly not least, here is our NH Hotels brand. So again, this is under the mid-scale flag, but this takes up the bulk of our portfolio. So there's about 264 of these hotels in Europe and Latin America. Similar to the relationship between Avani and Anantara, typically whenever we have an NH collection in the city, we're also going to have an NH hotel. So basically we can offer 2 different price points for your guests. And because there's so many of these NH hotels, you're going to have a lot of options, your primary cities, your secondary cities, as well as your tertiary cities. This is a consistent brand. You know, we always say it's always convenient, always affordable. All of these pillars are very important to the who NH Hotels brand is. And again, if you're a consistent corporate traveler, this is a fantastic, fantastic brand for you to have internationally. So now I'm going to turn it over to my colleague. She's the director of sales for our property in New York that is going to be opening later this year. We're very excited. As we mentioned, this is our first hotel in the entire portfolio to be in North America. And I will let her take it from here and explain it to you.
Thank you, Francesca. It's super exciting for us to launch our first flagship property in New York City under NH Collection by Viner. It's our opening is coming in September 2020. And we'd love to go over the slides and show you the more exciting location and features of this hotel. The locations are prime. We're in the upper scale location for 38 Madison and in the Midtown Manhattan. And we're superbly close to Empire State Building, Times Square, Bryant Park, and Grand Central Station. And that airport destination is also very close by to the hotel. We situated to LaGuardia International Airport, JFK, and just in New York Airport, which is not too far from us. Hotel features great landmark building itself. So just it's a back of the 1920s Renaissance rebuilt design and been done fully refurbished. We are featuring 288 keys and providing full service amenities, 24-service security, gym on board, and definitely beautiful gastronomy experience for F&B background. Accommodation and the meeting space. We have a wonderful meeting space facility. There's a natural light and several room categories are for very unusual for New York City, with 33 studio rooms and 100 deluxe rooms, premium rooms, and what makes us unique, we have great number of junior suites on board. And our residential suite makes it completely unique experience for travelers, for leisure, and for corporate experiences. We are welcoming you on board, and as of September 1st, 2020. And for any questions, and I'll be your direct contact. I'm Director of Sales and Marketing and Property, and my name is Ayten Mirzoeva. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ayten. We're very excited as well. As you guys can tell, the property really does look absolutely gorgeous. So before I conclude my presentation, I want to highlight very quickly, of course, why we're all here, right? The partnership that we have with you guys, with THOR. So because of the acquisition by Minor, the partnership has extended to all of the brands that you guys learned about today. And we have this 8 to 15% off of just the NH Hotel Group brands, and then the rest of the brands I mentioned are at that 10% off. So this is bookable for you guys under the GDS, under the THOR rate code, THR, which you can access online. And all of our hotels you can find in the GDS under one master chain code, and that's going to be NH. So it makes it very, very simple on you guys. If you have any questions on this, you can certainly let me know, and I'm happy to help. And then, you guys are supporting us, so we want to support you in turn. So we offer this fantastic travel agent rate. This is going to be 50% off of the non-LRA, or I should say up to 50% off, right? And this is accessible through the travel agent portal that we have online. So basically, you can go to our website, nh-hotels.com, and on the top right, you're going to see a little button to click for travel agents, and you basically register for the portal. You can manage your own bookings, you can cancel, you can book. I always say though, give me a heads up should you be booking with one of our hotels, because I want to make sure that you have a fantastic stay and get that nice little VIP treatment. So really that does conclude my presentation today. So I hope you guys learned a little bit more about who NH Hotel Group, part of Minor, is. As you can say, we are growing quite rapidly, and there's going to be some great news in the next coming months. So certainly stay tuned and look forward to working with you.